The most popular book in the history of chess, I could say, and best known book is the My System by Nimzovitch. My System by Nimzovitch was written about 75 years ago, and those principles of positional play we're still adapting now. We're still adapting, we still respect, because this is based on very strong research, and it's based on good understanding of position, and well, it proved itself as very reliable way of playing chess. However, it was 75 years ago. We still use those principles, but we made some adjustments. I would normally, not me, just any reasonably strong chess player uses those principles. But what they do, they also, they modifying it. And I'm going to show you, since Nimzovitch, how this modifying works and why we have different criteria where we get it. We don't have different criteria, we just are more flexible. We're using his ideas in a more improved version. And these DVDs will explain you, will take you throughout all this evolution of Nimzowitsch's ideas. So get comfortable and learn some most important aspects of positional and tactical play. Here is interesting position from the game Nimzowitsch with white, and a famous player in the beginning of the century, Vidmar. In this position, Nimzowitsch played rook b1, black played rook to e8, which is a very strong move. Because of back rank weakness, white cannot capture the queen, because black is going to checkmate them. So, and black got the counterplay and game went on. After the game, Nimzowitsch showed, after analysis, that rook e4 would have won. I agree with him 100%, and the variation he shows, after rook e4, if black plays bishop c6, then knight f6 check, g takes f, and king h8, rook h4 wins the game. You see the threat of mate on h7, rook takes h7, and if black captures the knight, white has several different ways to win. Queen takes f6 is probably the easiest, followed by rook g4. That's an easy win. So after knight f6 check, black has to capture. Since king f8 is also weak, knight takes h7, king g8, knight f6 check, and black has a lot of problems. And after g takes f, Nimzowitsch does say that rook g4 wins. And after king f8, queen takes f6 with a winning attack. Now, I don't dispute that. I agree with it 100%, but here is the point, very important point I want to make. That's actually, I don't really like the way Nimzowitsch just shows the variation and shows the winning move. In order to learn, you have to realize in today's chess we have criteria and certain principles that help us find the winning move. Well, here are the criteria. If you notice, all black's pieces are located on a queen side. Black's king side does not have any support from the pieces. White plays very powerful knight on h5, and white has queen on f3 and open e-file. That signals you that you must try to attack black's king. Also, the other thing that we know now, it might not have been known at that time when game was played, it was played in 1911, that combination queen and the knight in attack is most of the time it's a deadly combination. So white has wide range of strong continuations. Once you know that you have to attack on the king side, then you get all kinds of ideas. Rook e4, g4, rook d4, g4, maybe queen g3, attacking checkmate, and then try to get some threats on the king side. Queen g5 is not good, probably because queen c3. But that's the direction you're looking at. You need the direction on g6, maybe knight f6 check, followed by either rook e7 or queen h4. That will be a good start. Anyway, you should look at that direction. Nimzovitch doesn't say, he says that rook b1 is a wrong move because of rook e8. I agree with him, and at the same time I disagree with him. Rook b1 is definitely wrong move, but it's wrong not only because black has rook e8 move. It's just in general, it's a wrong approach and a bad move. You don't need to go to a queen side. You don't need any presence and any contact on queen side. You must concentrate on a king side attack, especially when you are a pawn down and you have big presence of your pieces on king side. So now you know the target is the king side. We have to attack and we have to do it quick. Now, how does rook e4? Nimzovitch found this move, and he talks about this move much later after the game. But here is the simple way why in today's world relatively strong player can find rook e4 move quickly. Okay, if you don't see immediate mate with a queen and a knight, you see you can't win right away. That means, that signals you that you must bring more pieces. Now, in order to bring, obviously more pieces is not going to be a king or a pawn, so we have to bring the rook. Now, there are two rooks we have. We may be able to go rook e7. Actually, it's one of possible and very strong moves also. We're going to go rook e7 and maybe rook e4, g4, maybe rook d4, g4. If I was playing, I would move rook d4 and g4 because that weakens my back rank, the first rank. So, for example, on rook d4, rook e8, now we are distracted from direct attack by blacks threatening to checkmate us on a back rank. So rook e4 would make more sense because when we bring rook to g4, our back rank is protected with the d1 rook. So we have now various different opportunities, but the target, the idea does not change. We must attack on a king side. That's for sure. So rook e7 would be interesting move. Attacking f7 pawn and a bishop c4, then you see queen g4 is interesting move. Also threatening queen takes g7, queen takes c4, but then black plays queen takes c3, protects the mate and protects the bishop. So how do you find the correct move in chess? Correct move is found today using various different criteria. One, you see the location of your pieces and you know what your plan is. That's number one. Number two, you have to calculate variations, and you have to look at various different possibilities. And I strongly recommend to try to make the best move, calculate the best moves from your opponent. That's what you have to do. So once you calculate rook e4, you calculate rook e7. Now you see we narrowed down to 2 or 3 moves, probably 2. Rook e4 is a lot easier move to find than it may appear to you. So rook e4 wins, definitely wins. I agree with Nimzovitch, but at that time in 1911 it wasn't really known that queen and the knight combination is very, very powerful and can be very deadly. For example, if you look even in the end game, when you have queen and knight, your opponent has queen and bishop. It's a lot of times the queen and knight, actually most of the time queen and knight is better because they are functioning together better. Because queen, if you think about it, there is a reason for it. Knight, queen, bishop functions, bishop goes diagonally, but so is queen. So they are kind of doing the same, they're playing the same role in a way. But queen and knight goes the way that queen doesn't go, so the combination works a lot better. So that's why queen and knight, it's a strong combination of pieces, and now you don't have immediate mate, you need another piece. That's how you get to rook e4 move, and that's why this is so strong. So that's interesting example, and I just showed you the way you find the best move. Of course, Nimzovitch was right mentioning that rook e4 was winning, but if you know the principles that we know, he was strong enough player not to even think about rook b1. For example, a move like rook b1 would never cross my mind, even if it was a good move, because it's counterintuitive and it's wrong, and the position does not require to play rook to b1. There is another example of interesting position about the blockade. Nimzovitch, as usually, correctly mentions that white has an advantage here, and white does have an advantage. So he analyzes move bishop d4. Obviously we need the blockade black's e6 and d5 pawn. He says bishop d4 will be met by queen c7 if white played bishop d4, and then after queen e2 black would play knight g4, preventing white from going knight e5 and also attacking h2 pawn. And if white goes h3, black will go e5. This is 100% correct, and black does have a good game here. But only one thing I disagree with him, that one thing that Nimzovitch doesn't write about this position. So he correctly points that blockade is essential, and I agree with him, but why would I play bishop d4? Now, in order to maintain the blockade is already there. I don't want to keep dark squared bishops on the board. Why would I go bishop d4 to try later to put knight on e5 when I can go queen e2 right away? And this is the correct move, queen e2 in this position. And Nimzovitch mentions the queen e2 move, and this move does give white advantage. But what I don't like is why to mention bishop d4. Bishop d4 is wrong move because after queen c7 we losing grip, even if it's temporarily. we're losing grip on the blockade. Blockade is already there. If I had this position, for example, here I would go bishop e5, but no way I would go from e5 to d4. I want to exchange dark square bishops and have black have bad light square bishop, and later I want to mount my knight on e5. The way explanation goes, for those of you who are interested and who want to learn essence of the positional play, bishop d4, good player would never seriously consider. Queen e2 is clearly the best move, and then Nimzovitch mentions after rook a to c8, now he wants to go bishop d4, and after queen c7, knight e5. Okay, I may agree with this just a little bit, even though it's against my main principles here. Well, yeah, because this guarantees us the blockade. But again, we don't have to do that. We can simply play rook a1 to c1. I want to take on d6 later and go knight to e5. That's my goal, and that's what I want to do. So we don't have to do bishop d4. You see, in this particular position, bishop d4 is not a bad move. But once you want to learn tools for positional play, remember, in this position it's okay to play bishop d4, but most of the time, once you have this blockade piece, do not remove from there unless you securely blockading this square, and 100% pawn cannot be moved. Now, if you try it yourself, it may be little different position. So very sophisticated player may play bishop d4 and knight e5.